There used to be a rich kid who lived in Gotham City. He became an orphan strolling down Crime Alley. Then he trained and bought toys with his parents' last will. But did you know his movies, bro? The franchise became large and the cash that he made was obscene. Batman! I compare you to a grown man dressed like a furry. Oh, somehow you even survived a film with the great Jim Carrey. Now that our podcast is tuned, the geeks are here to ruin your day. Welcome back to the Hateful Geeks. Oh, thank you. They got to take a quick bow. Oh God, we had to resurrect old Seal because tonight the Hateful Geeks are going to be dissecting one of the greatest film franchises in comic book and film history. As far as most of us are concerned.
I hope my laughing doesn't hit because I wasn't laughing out of in a mean way. I was laughing because Phil didn't let us know about the lyrics beforehand.
Oh, Andy, I'm sorry about the furry comment, but we're going to continue. Anyway, back to the Hateful Geeks. Welcome back. This week we are talking about Batman. We're talking about Burton Batman. We're talking about Schumacher Batman. We're talking about the Batman film trilogy. And I'm one of your many hosts, Phil.
And this is Sweeney.
I'm Andy.
And this is Tim.
And we're going to kiss this rose off right today. So, Andy, as our resident Batmanophile, how do you feel about the Burton Schumacher Batman film series? And they are considered one block of Batman. We're not talking about the Nolan Batman films. We're not talking about the Adam West singular Batman film. But Burton Schumacher was a big time for comic book films. It both resurrected and single-handedly murdered the comic book industry in itself from beginning to end. But it all started with one of the greatest Batman films, the 89 Batman film.
The 89 Batman film to this day is still one of the greatest comic book Batman movies. Although it does have its flaws, so we're going to shit all over those flaws.
Yes, we are.
But I was 12, so I was prime for when that movie came out.
Whoa.
God, you're old.
God, I am old.
Man, you're old.
I was 3.
And
for reference, people.
I think it was 8.
I was 2.
Batman Returns, great. Batman and
Forever.
Batman Forever. Batman and
Forever
Robin,
unclean.
Batman and Robin is what destroyed comic book movies
Nipples?
for a very long time.
Nipples?
Nipples on the bat
Nips
suit.
on the bat suit.
George Clooney as Batman.
The
Credit card.
Nips weren't introduced were introduced in Forever.
Were they?
Forever.
That's
On-
no Batman. Were they? No. The Nips were on the bat suit in Batman and Robin with Batgirl.
Were they in Forever?
And then both
They were in
bat
Forever.
suits.
Were they?
on Kilmer?
Really?
Gross.
I'm almost positive.
Well, he looks this up.
As he types into his phone
Bat
nipples.
As I
And Tim's
type
on a
in-
list.
As I type in Val Kilmer bat nipples.
Do we-
Val Kilmer's nipples.
Do we also want to bring in? Never mind. We won't bring in anything else.
No, those are it.
No,
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, that is it. That is the correct block. We'll be ignoring Nolan, and we'll be ignoring Adam West, and we'll definitely be ignoring the Affleck Batman films. This is the beginning of what the Hateful Geeks are going to be undertaking going forward. Franchise fuckery.
It's
Hateful
almost
Geeks
like
do
a
nostalgia.
very long, hateful, grateful episode about a specific genre or franchise that we grew up on.
We can only wax so much about brand new shit coming out, and some of it comes out and we're just like, meh. I mean, a lot of this stuff is like what we grew up with. So we really want to just dig in deep to one of this is our Queen's Voyage, so to speak, setting sail. We're going to open it up with the Batman, Burton Schumacher. And let's open up with the 89 Batman. Michael Keaton, Jack Nicholson, Billy D. Williams as Harvey Dent for all 3 minutes.
I was like, wait, I was trying to think about that. Like, wait, was he in that movie?
That's something I plan on shitting on.
We also
a
have
bat suit that has a neck that doesn't turn.
a Joker origin story.
Yes, it actually was canon for a very long time.
He fell into the vat of what was his gangster's name? I forget now.
His name was Jack Napier.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Napier and his sidekick Bob.
Bob Gunn.
Bob.
Get over it, babe.
And what's her face?
What's her face?
Vicky Dale?
Which
Vicky Dale. I can't remember the actress.
Yeah,
Kim Basinger.
Yeah, what's she been in lately?
Nothing.
nothing.
I was
Kim
saying
Basinger was Rabbit's mom in 8 Mile.
Dead.
because George Clooney has resorted to the coffee commercials now.
Kim Basinger's hot
Nespresso.
forever. Stop it. You leave Kim Basinger alone. I'm not that old. I'm not dead yet.
I'm not dead.
I don't know. I really love the 89 Batman. 89 Batman, one, it had an amazing soundtrack. It was all Prince, as we discussed earlier. I mean, it's no Kiss from a Rose, but it's definitely one of the greatest sound. You got Party Man. You've got Party Man.
I like to think of Party Man. And then what's
You
the
got
song
Who
for
You
the
Trust.
parade?
Money, money, money. Who do you trust?
Yeah.
You got the bats. What was this? The bat
Dance.
song? The bat dance?
Dance.
Bat dance.
Yeah.
Bat dance.
I remember that video. I remember the music video Prince did because half
Yes.
of him is the Joker and the other half is an effeminate Batman because it's Prince. But the song, I don't remember the song featuring in the film. Was it like a credit song? I don't really remember it. Like what
I don't
point in
think
the
it
movie
ever
the
was
bat
in the
dance
film.
played.
Which one?
I didn't think so
The
either.
bat dance. It was just
What's-
a video afterwards.
Okay. What's the one where he's going around the museum?
That's the 89 Batman. That's Party Man.
Party Man.
I meant the song, not the
Party
not the-
Man.
Yeah, okay.
And he also used it in the parade, correct? So it was
No,
played-
he uses it's Who Do You Trust is the parade song.
Okay.
Who trust? Who do
That's
ya
right.
trust?
Okay.
Where does he get those wonderful toys? There's the 89 Batman is probably the most quotable Batman movies. You've got like, have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight?
still say that.
I'm Batman.
As I
Forever.
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman. Who are you? I'm Batman. Wait, no, it's like the Keaton's more like a I'm Batman.
Yeah, it was like a whisper,
like a-
not like the I'm Batman.
Yeah, it's like he's whispering from his chest.
Yeah, it's not like a bark.
He lowered his
like
voice,
Christian
but
Bale's
he didn't,
I'm
like,
Batman.
chew gravel while doing it.
Where's Rachel?
Right.
Where is she? Which one are you going for? I'm going for Rachel, not Harvey. That would be totally not a no, bro.
So we're saying
All right, so-
never rub another man's rhubarb.
Yes, you never rub another man's rhubarb. That's
Yeah.
correct. Bob Gunn, This Town Needs an Enema. That's a personal favorite of mine.
Stop the press. Who is that?
Yeah, Jack Nicholson owned that role. And the interesting thing was it was sort of like a little bit of like Cesar Romero's Joker's, a little bit like he had the acid flower, he had like the comedy, but it was a lot darker. It was like moving more in a direction towards that anarchist. This was like definitely old school gangster Joker with a little bit of the clown humor, but not like party clown humor. Is that making sense? Is that
Yeah,
comparison?
it was,
Yeah.
he was more like a psychotic. Like you literally saw the psychotic snap in him, like in '89 for this Joker, right? Like you actually got to see that snap. He already was kind of psychotic. He was a gangster, or
Right.
whatever. But then he literally snapped, and so it was more like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. It was like that same his character in that movie, but the Joker version, kind of.
Raise your hand, Chief. Let's watch the game. Put your hand up, Chief. Yeah, I can see. Yeah, you know what? Mannerisms and the way he talked to everyone. Yeah, he was definitely pulling from his One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest lines.
Yeah, I
Good
mean,
call.
and like he said, like it gets the dark, but also like the humorous where, like you'd never see Cesar Romero's Joker just shoot a gangster like 6 times while he's in his office chair and just dance around like shoot from the back, behind his back, and guys
Joy
shoot-
buzzer.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a live one here.
yeah,
I like it when he actually takes out like the 12-foot long barreled pistol revolver out of his pant leg in the middle of the and he shoots down the bat plane in one shot.
right.
Like it's a fucking elephant cannon pistol. And just where does he get these wonderful toys?
Or when he
They
danced,
took my balloons.
when he dances around with Basinger while she's like passed out, like up on the roof. That's
Oh,
kinda,
the
that was kind of
cathedral?
creepy.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, she's kind of like limp and not into it.
Well, she's like he like drugged her, didn't he, or something?
No, she
I don't
just kind
remember.
of like gives up on.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought he like used like chlorophyll.
When you're trying to take your
Chlorophyll.
child to bed and they just go completely limp. That's what she was like. No,
I'm looking forward to those years. I feel like Burton got the look, like the aesthetic of Gotham really. He got it really
He made
right.
Gotham a character in the film.
Yeah.
It's very dark. It's almost unrealistic, like with the architecture of
It
it.
inspired the animated series look and feel of Gotham.
Yeah,
I love the
very
animated
gothic
series.
looking, very, you know, they had a lot of
Noir.
cathedrals, a lot of like tall, dark buildings, a lot of alleyways. I mean,
Gargoyles, shit like
yeah,
that.
it was very, very much like you think of the animated series being.
The 89 Batman to this day still has the best Batmobile on film.
Oh, you know what? I okay. Of the block we're talking about, yes, I will agree with you. Batman and Batman Returns Batmobile is the superior Batmobile. But outside of that, I gotta go with the Tumbler, dude. I feel like the Tumbler is a superior
Tumbler
looking
is
Batman.
cool, but the Tumbler is very still military. This is America. This is my. this is like the Hummer on
Army of
steroids.
one.
Yeah, like it felt just too America. Whereas the
Oh, wow.
Batmobile felt like
Wait,
it was
so you're telling me
Batman's design. It was that was all Batman. Whereas the Tumbler was just handed to him. Yes, it comes in black.
So what you're telling
But-
me is is having a giant jet engine on your car is not America.
Yeah, dude, the turbine. Come on, what the
saying,
fuck?
like, the
How are you going to
aesthetics,
keep that
the
thing on the
look.
ground?
You have like this. How do you turn this thing?
Duh, with a grappling hook. They showed you.
It's so long. It made no sense from like a logistics standpoint. And the armor,
It's like-
really?
Yeah,
that like, couldn't you just like?
every time I watch it when he's like shields and it like perfectly puts these shields around him, it's like what the fuck? Remember they're like Batman doesn't kill yet he sends his Batmobile into the Ace Chemicals, Acme Chemicals.
He blew that shit
Blew it up
to hell and
with
back.
people inside.
Yeah, man, there were people working there making Joker chemicals
Fuck them.
because that's where Joker was making the chemicals. He was Jokerifying people. Love that Joker.
So what part of the 89 film do you guys despise?
The suit.
The end.
The suit?
The end. When Batman and Joker have had their punch fight at the top of the cathedral, and the Joker like dances himself off the roof because he's just not paying attention, and the Batman lets him fall. Like the Batman, like goodbye, you killed
tries to
Joker,
get him.
you did it.
You did
And by
it.
try, I mean just kind of like, give me a good hand.
Right.
I didn't mind Jack being the Joker. I didn't mind okay, fine, you're giving us an origin story. I hate that he is also the one that kills Bruce's parents. Like,
Yeah,
you are
making him
really
Joe Chill was
reaching
dumb,
there.
too.
Yeah, you are reaching by making the Joker be the killer of Bruce's parents.
Well, and you think about even the age gap there, right? So Bruce is what, like 9?
If that.
It's
If
ballpark.
that,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's ballpark it there.
And if he's say he's like a mid-20s gangster at that point,
Hmm.
and then
Yeah.
now Bruce Wayne is what, 30 in the film when he grows up,
28-ish.
and then so you have this Joker that would be 40 plus 50.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Jack Nicholson
Oh,
was
I
like
know.
He
50
looked it.
he was 50 when the movie came out.
absolutely. I'm just saying, like,
Right. I mean, I see what you mean. The whole like making Joker Joe Chill doesn't bother me personally, only because like I don't think it came at a time where no one really cared about continuity in the movies, or not continuity, but keeping it to the
Canon
comic
material.
source material. Yeah.
I cared. Even as a kid, I was
Meh.
like, wrong.
I
This
thought
is wrong.
I thought the suit was a little obnoxious for that movie.
I loved it, except for he couldn't.
Yeah, he couldn't turn his
Couldn't
head
turn-
at all.
That always bothered me. He like just turned his whole body.
I think the best was
No
when
one
the
could.
Joker was in his helicopter after he blows up the chemical plant, and the Joker's flying up there, and the only way he can look up is to literally turn.
Right.
It was like a full body, like
Because I think the first cow that could turn its head was Dark Knight.
It was.
yeah.
They
They
make
actually have a
Make
line
joke
about it
Yeah.
in the movie.
Yeah.
All right, so
Yeah, 89 Batman was fun because we were kids and we didn't know any fucking better. But Tim Burton did not. You could tell Tim Burton did not exactly do a shit ton of research on Batman.
I think my thing that I really don't like, even though he's only in it for like 3.5 minutes, is like I don't buy Billy D. Williams as Harvey Dent. Like, sorry,
No, not at
especially if he's going to be Two-Face. Like,
Why is that, Tim?
Oh, are you going to pull that card?
Why? No, I'm not even pulling a card, sir. What's wrong with Billy D? I love Billy D. I got Billy D autograph up on my wall behind me.
Yeah, I don't buy him as Harvey Dent or to turn him into Two-Face. Like,
And for as significant of a character as he is, like we know who Harvey Dent is. We know
Right.
what he represents to Gotham and why his turn to Two-Face. Like, so the fact that they just kind of throw him out there and he had zero significance in that movie.
well, because
They were going to make him Two-Face at one point.
Yeah, and I'd like to get into that when we get into Batman Returns. But yeah, like at one point they were going to turn him into Two-Face. So if he was like district attorney, insert name here, I think I would have been all right with it. But like, I just don't like him. The Billy D. Williams is Two-Face. I'm just like, I don't like Lando as Two-Face. Sorry.
He would have been the smoothest Two-Face you ever saw.
Right.
Colt 45.
It works every time. I would have. I don't know. I mean, I could have seen it happening, but yeah, well, that's something we'll just never know.
Right.
We'll just never.
There's
never
a lot
know.
of things that was lined up for this series that we'll probably never know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, other than that, I mean, that was a pretty short-lived film. I mean, Vicky Vale, like the last thing you do if you're Batman is like fuck a reporter and let her see your Batcave. It's like, that's going to be on Time Magazine the next day. I know the identity of the Batman. I banged him.
Yeah. That reminds me real quick of, I don't know why that does, but he sleeps upside down.
He does.
He does on that.
Whatever the fuck it's called. I don't know what it's called, but he sleeps upside down like a bat. The fuck?
Dude would have
He's
an
a vampire.
aneurysm after a
Sorry.
week.
Yeah, sorry, but like, what the fuck?
You're not a bat.
I'm going to probably like piss off a few people in that room. Right? I think Michael Keaton was a bad casting decision for Batman. Sorry. He's too old and he's too funny. That's not
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne. That's not Batman.
I thought
He's
he was
like
a, good
a
Batman,
low
but I agree.
four.
He was never. He wasn't Bruce to me.
He's just a low. He's like bottom rung. If I was to like list the best Batman and Bruce Waynes in all of film history, he's not even in my top 3. Sorry.
I think he.
No, maybe he is in my top 3.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, I think he
He's
might
up
be.
there.
I think he might be my third.
He's
He might be.
definitely
Yeah,
up
he's
there.
my 3rd. He's definitely my. Okay, he is in my top 3, barely. And it's not. And the people he's beating out, they don't even. They're not. I mean, what, you beat George Clooney and Val Kilmer? Good job, Keaton. Like, that was, your competition was shit.
Right.
Even Affleck is a better
I was gonna
Batman
say,
than
my
Bruce Wayne.
list
Sorry.
changes. Are we talking Batman or are we talking Bruce? Because then they're
There that you
completely
have
different.
to. I feel to properly portray the character, you have to be good at both. So
Right.
if I number them, I consider both performances.
'Cause I think
Christian Bale, awesome. Bruce, I thought actually was a pretty good Bruce Wayne.
Christian Bale to
Shitty
me is
Batman.
the best Bruce Wayne. He played
Shittiest Batman.
the. He
Oh no,
played
second
that,
shittiest Batman.
The flamboyant, not even flamboyant, the playboy, the like he just flaunted it.
Yeah.
I own this place.
Bringing arm
Right.
candy to the hotel,
Yeah,
buying
right,
the
yeah,
hotel,
yeah.
let him swim in the fucking fountain and
Yeah.
shit. Yeah,
Everyone
I'm with
else
you.
is just like you're not even trying. Like Affleck to me is one of the worst Bruce Waynes.
You fuck off, sir. He was a great. He's acting all drunk. I got to piss. I know I'm in your computer mainframe. Where's the pissa? Like, no. Affleck did a great job as Bruce, as an elderly, grizzled Bruce,
Old
and
man
an
Bruce.
awesome Batman. I feel Affleck nailed both for what he was given. If he was given like end of your rope Batman, Bruce Wayne, not I'm starting out in life, Bruce Wayne Batman. If he had been like, I'm young and I'm new at this, then yes, we would be in complete agreement right now. Worst fucking Bruce Wayne possible. But no, he got it right. The dialogue between him and Soups when they're at Lex Luthor's party and they're like kind of passive aggressively ribbing each other.
Yeah.
Like his Bruce Wayne is really coming out really strong right there. I think you got to go watch the movie, Andy. You might not agree with me ever.
No, I'm not gonna
No, I'm not gonna do that.
Fuck you, bud.
I will say, besides Michael Keaton, or not Mike, I'm sorry, Michael Caine, great Alfred. The 89, sorry, I don't remember the actual actor's name. That will always be Alfred.
Old man.
Wasn't that Meredith
Michael,
Burgess?
Michael Go.
There we go. Did I say Meredith Burgess?
Yeah, we'll get to him later too.
89 Batman had its strengths. It had a lot of weaknesses. But then Burton comes back in like 2 years for Batman Returns. which is like, I think actually pretty good because, you know, first off, title wise, good decision. You didn't go with a number. You didn't go with Batman 2. Batman literally is returning.
Start.
You're right. Technically, Batman Returns is also a Christmas movie. Bold choice.
Oh yeah, it is.
Oh yeah,
It is.
No, like I always forget about it. It's only
it's a
because I was
legit
just
Christmas movie.
Thinking of
Not only you got a 3-villain cast, you've got Catwoman. You know, you got Michelle Pfeiffer rocking Catwoman. Great performance. That definitely taught me about how much I like boobs and leather. You got Danny DeVito as the Penguin, which taught me about how gross it is to see flipper hands.
Real
and people bite people, and I'm afraid of people biting my nose. That is actually a legitimate fear. And you had a fucking Max Shrek. You got fucking Christopher Walken. Your typical 1%, like the evil version of Bruce Wayne. Batman Returns is a good film. If it wasn't for Batman killing everyone in sight with grenades down the pants.
right.
Or dynamite, whatever you want to call it.
God, I don't remember that movie that well. Now that I'm thinking about it, like, man, I remember, like, I obviously remember Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman.
I mean,
like,
Who doesn't?
I was a preteen. Oh,
Yeah.
of course I remember that. And I remember Danny DeVito as Penguin because he was creepy as hell, and that was like a perfect role for him. I mean, I couldn't imagine
Right.
anybody else being the Penguin.
So we're talking casting a little bit right now. Before we move fully into Returns, I just took down some notes of little casting tidbits that could have been.
I
So
think, yeah.
89, the first choice for Batman was actually Pierce Brosnan. Pierce
That actually could have
Brosnan
worked.
said, hell no, and he actually considered it a joke that he was offered this role.
Because he wanted Bond. He was still on Remington
Yeah.
Steele.
So when he was offered the role of Bruce Wayne, who I think he would have played an amazing Bruce Wayne,
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
said no. John Lithgow was up for the Joker, and he
The
actually told Burton, like, I don't think I'm the right fit for it. So they're like, okay. So he talked his own way out of it.
I think he's right.
Yeah. And in the first few drafts of the 89 film, there was a Robin. They did the Death of the Graysons, and the role was pitched to Kiefer Sutherland. And he was like, Robin, the guy in the tights, hell no. Later, he was interviewed, and he goes, I didn't know they were going to make the greatest movie ever. So he's regretted it ever since.
Yeah. Robin was in it. Was in the script like so far that they got to storyboarding the Death of the Graysons.
And then Kiefer said no, and
Then they just, I think he just said it's too much for the first movie.
So Lost Boys, Lost
the-
Boys Robin.
Yeah.
Even then, it's still too old for Kiefer. That's still...
It's like early
get one of the
20s.
Corys.
Yeah.
One of the Corys.
The other casting when it came to the Joker was David Bowie, but he turned it down. And then
That would have been awesome as fuck. I actually would love to
initially,
shit
don't worry, David Bowie comes back. The other one was that initially Jack Nicholson turned down the Joker, so they got all like Robin Williams all but signed on the contract, and they kind of used Robin Williams as leverage, and kind of said like told Jack Nicholson, well, we're going to go this route, and then Jack Nicholson signed for a little bit more money.
he signed on for more money. He wanted top billing, so he was billed over Keaton. And then he also got into his contract to get a part of the profits from the movie.
Right.
And they were like, yeah, we'll do that, thinking it wasn't going to be big. And then, bam, apparently he walked out with another $60 to $90 million just from that.
Yeah.
Bang, bang.
Who do you trust?
Money. Who do you trust?
I mean,
Good job, Jack.
I wonder how let me try that over.
Go take two.
Robin Williams. I wonder how he would have done.
I don't know. Again, Robin Williams comes back later for when we talk about casting for each movie.
You always see Robin Williams in like funny movies, but the few like creepy movies he's done, he's been like really creepy.
1 Hour Photo.
Yeah.
Insomnia.
Yeah. So like him as the Joker, I think would have
He could have played it.
win really well.
He even said, I remember reading an interview with him where he even said that like that's one of the one movie role that he wished he would have gotten, and to see what he would have done with it was Joker.
I don't know. I mean, look what happened to Ledger. With Robin Williams' like mental history, I don't think him doing the Joker would have been a good idea for him or anybody for that matter.
But I think at that time it wasn't like it wasn't as dark as
Even back then,
No,
Robin was struggling with that stuff.
I don't mean Robin Williams dark. I mean like the Joker wasn't as dark as Heath Ledger's Joker. It wasn't nearly as
I guess on page it wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't nearly as like withdrawn and psycho. It was more like humoristic in Psycho.
He was more
Right.
mobster than
Yeah.
chaos.
Right.
I mean, it would have been hard for me to watch that because then how is he going to go do Mrs. Doubtfire like 3 years later?
Hey,
Or Jumanji.
Yeah. I mean, he did 1 hour photo, which is weird as hell.
Ugh.
So
Boy.
So you were
So,
just talking.
were
Michelle
there any
Pfeiffer.
other casting bugaboos you want to talk about? Or
Yeah,
can we continue with
I'll just browse through what I had down. And
I mean, we both can, yeah.
yeah, because this goes now into Batman Returns, and we were saying Michelle Pfeiffer, who is Catwoman.
Oh, yeah.
She is Catwoman.
She's better than Anne fucking Hathaway.
Sean Young she was actually cast as Catwoman. Or,
From
I'm sorry,
Dune? Yeah, I like Sean Young.
Sorry, she wasn't cast as Catwoman. She was cast as Vicky Vale. She broke
Oh,
her
that's
arm while horseback riding for another scene in a different film, so she couldn't be Vicky Vale. Then when she finds out that Catwoman comes up, who at first it was Annette Bening who was Catwoman, she gets pregnant, so then it goes to Michelle Pfeiffer. So Sean Young's pissed that she doesn't even get offered the role. She dresses up as Catwoman, goes to the Warner Brothers lot, and walks around looking for anybody associated with Batman. Goes to the execs looking. Rumor is that Burton actually hid under a desk to avoid her. She actually gets labeled the crazy cat lady and blames it to this day that it ruined her career.
So like imagine her, like she's dressed in the Julie Newmar Catwoman outfit, going to a Warner Brothers studio, like purring in her voice, like doing a Julie Newmar impression to try to get this job.
That's already been
cast. And like I think the movie had like already started filming too.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, I love Blade Runner. I love fucking Dune. Like Sean Young's great,
No
but
Way Out,
that's not
Wall
how
Street.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not how you get a fucking job,
Right.
Sean. I'm sorry.
but I mean, think about it. She would have played the role perfectly because she's fucking crazy.
yeah, right, yeah. I mean exactly.
But she's the wrong kind. She's trying to like just do Julie Newmar. She's not trying to do what like Michelle Pfeiffer did.
Oh, no.
And Michelle Pfeiffer made the role completely different. Like
Right.
she went like awesome cat burglar, sexy dominatrix Catwoman, not I am a joke of a cat furry
right.
Yeah.
Catwoman.
So Sean Young,
I'm gonna take the
just take your pride, go away.
what pride. She left it on the fucking streets of the Warner Brothers studio.
Speaking of Catwoman, at the end of Returns, she actually in the original cut, Catwoman dies. 2-3 weeks before the theatrical release, they're like, we made a mistake. So they film a scene where Catwoman's looking up and you see the bat signal lit up in the sky and you see Catwoman like, oh, she lived. That's not even Michelle Pfeiffer. That's why you don't see her face.
Yeah.
I mean, he killed everybody else. What's the matter?
Yeah, right. Did you have any more casting for Returns? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I couldn't remember what all we talked about for
I got
Returns.
two more.
I apologize.
This one, Phil, I don't know if you ever heard. Marlon Wayans was Robin
Yeah, I heard
in
this.
Batman Returns. Actually is there being like, he was fitted for the costume. He was even cut a check. Then they're like, well, we're introducing Catwoman. We're introducing Penguin. There's too much. So we're going to bring you into the third movie. Schumacher comes on, hates Marlon Wayans, goes with Chris O'Donnell.
I mean, Robin's a stupid fucking mistake for a Batman movie
Right.
anyway.
I just don't see Marlon Wayans.
Sorry.
Yeah. And then when they do a flashback scene, I believe very early in Returns, when they show the Penguin being born and you see his mom and dad, Burgess Meredith, who was the Penguin in the 66 series, was going to be his father. So a little Easter egg hidden in there. He gets sick. So Tim turns to who he just recently worked with, Paul Rubens. And Paul Rubens was his father.
Yeah, Pee Wee fucking Herman.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
It's like pushing little Penguin into the fucking river of like frozen Gotham City park like fucking gross Moses with his flipper hands and his nasty little fish face. I'm sorry, I get night brain. That used to actually freak me out a little bit as a kid when I first saw the penguin. He bites that dude's nose in the middle of the goddamn like the mayoral like campaigning office. Danny DeVito. I think that's why I have problems with It's Always Sunny. Every time I see Danny DeVito, I see the fucking penguin biting my nose off, and I'm like, no, get away from me, you creepy little midget person. Just scared myself just thinking about it.
So I couldn't find any other casting choices for Penguin other than the blurb that Danny DeVito didn't want to do it, and Jack Nicholson had to talk him into it by saying like I made more money on Batman than I did in 10 years. Like, do the movie. But one dropped plot that I saw was that the role of Max Schreck was originally supposed to be Billy D. Williams coming back as Harvey Dent. And spoiler warning for a 26-year-old movie, at the end when Catwoman electrifies Max Schreck, that was how he turns into Two-Face for the third one. That was the original plot.
Oh.
So
I see how that would have worked, but not because it should have been acid in the face during court trial.
Right.
I like the idea of it, but it doesn't qualify Two-Face to me, I guess.
No, it wouldn't be Two-Face.
Right. Like how do you get it symmetrical?
Right. Like
Now,
Batman Returns is a schizo movie. Like I said, it's also a Christmas film. It's like
it's all over the place.
It's the first time we got a double villain in a superhero film. Like a double A tier villain, because I think you did because doing Lex Luthor and Nuclear Man doesn't really count,
right? And sorry, real quick, the other one was before Christopher Walken was cast as Max Schreck, David Bowie was going to do it, and then he dropped out to do Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me.
I fucking love David Bowie.
Yeah.
He can do whatever he wants. I don't care.
So
any decision he makes is a good decision as far as I'm concerned. Miss you, man.
For that's what I could find casting wise for Batman Returns.
they should have just had Shrek. I mean, they were already throwing the cannon out
out the
window here. Walking as Two-Face, yes, please.
yes.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Oh God, I didn't even think about that.
Why wouldn't they do that?
Yeah,
that's
please.
I'm gonna flip a coin and gonna decide your fate.
That is nightmarish to me, but in a good way.
Right?
You're talking to my boy all wrong.
What could have
Do
been?
it again. Stabbing the face.
Just think
with
of
a
half
tire.
of Walken's face being like the head, like the face of the Headless Horseman in Sleepy Hollow, but like all marred and shit.
Right.
And then you got regular Christopher Walken. Like that could have worked.
Yeah,
That would have worked really well in like a horrific, frightening way. Batman Returns, it's trying really hard to be a lot of different things. I feel like Burton was like, felt like he was pressured to step it up from the '89 Batman, but he just like overstuffed the film with way too much like unnecessary shit. There's like 3 different plot lines.
Yeah.
He completely loses the sight of Batman. Keaton, if you actually pay really close attention to the movie, Keaton has like 10 lines in the whole fucking film,
and
he barely talks.
And they gave him they almost gave Burton like carte blanche a little bit to do what he wanted, and then shit all over him when they saw the final product.
Yeah.
Because a lot of parents,
it was too dark.
Well, a lot of parents complained about this movie, but like it's a Batman movie. Like I'm sorry that they made Happy Meals out of Batman Returns.
At least they didn't make like sex whips from Catwoman Happy Meal toys and shit like that.
What?
Oh,
Just think about it. They had a lot of potential. Like, there's a lot of dirty shit in Batman Returns that is not for children.
Michelle Pfeiffer found out that she got the role of Catwoman, she was adamant that she wanted to learn how to use the whip.
Yeah.
So when she went to training, day one, when she cracked the whip, she hit her trainer in the face, drawing blood with it. But then they said, obviously, she got better. Every scene in that movie of her using the whip is actually Michelle Pfeiffer. She did her own whip stunts.
Is it wrong that I have like a fear erection right now?
Also, maybe it's because like I just saw this movie when I was like 4 years old, but like the licking of the face. Can we talk about that real quick?
Can we?
Yes, please.
That's
What
all
do you want to talk about?
That's all I
That's
got.
all I wanted to
Really.
talk about.
That's all I wanted to
So
say.
you want to talk about some confused feelings? Were you learning some new things about yourself as a boy?
Yeah, as I'm like 4 years old in the movie theater because I saw this one in the movie theater. I'm just like,
Dad, is that how mom kisses
is-
you?
yeah.
Yes.
yes, son.
Correct.
I love how they played up. She had
Say no
9
more.
lives.
Yeah, I actually like that a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like that, but now in like retrospect, looking at other superhero films, I feel like the Spider-Man kiss is like a straight up homage to the Catwoman kiss. Because think about it, like every hero, they got their niche, they got their way that they make out. Spider-Man does it upside down. Catwoman does it by licking your face and cleaning you a little bit. I don't know. Batman does it by pooping guano on you and then flying away. I don't.
Let's see, what other kisses are there? I
I was actually legitimately trying to think of a kiss.
think that's it.
Night Owl and Silk Spectre just do it with a building on fire behind
Yeah, but they
them.
do it to a fucking Leonard Cohen
Right, yeah.
song, which is awesome. Oh man, yeah, Batman Returns. I mean, it was definitely like not as good as '89 Batman, but still, it was definitely better than the films we're about to talk about.
It's the one out of the 4 of these I've seen the least amount of times.
I would agree with that. I probably have seen the other 3 way more, but only because the second 2 I have to shit on it.
Yeah.
so
I
hard.
can't even count how many times I've seen 89. Returns, very close.
I mean, I still watch 89.
Yeah.
Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, maybe 2 to 3 times each. Maybe.
I gotta say, I mean, it's not that I agree 89 is the best of the 4, but I probably have seen Batman Forever the most, only because Jim Carrey, dude, owned this whole film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Batman Forever. Why did Keaton not come back for Batman
Because
Forever?
Burton didn't go
Yeah,
back.
exactly.
No Burton, no
Burton.
Yeah.
Keaton.
There were ideas for Batman Forever with Burton. They were going to call it Batman Continues, which is just how long did that fucking take to come up with?
Batman again.
Like, we got returns. I mean, he continues. Sure,
Batman.
fucking write it down. And he had the idea of Chase Meridian, which was going to be Rene Russo, but then when Keaton dropped out, they went younger with Nicole Kidman. And then Robin Williams making his return in this podcast, but as the Riddler.
And I was gonna say earlier when we were talking about Robin Williams as the Joker, I was gonna say it probably would have turned out just like Jim Carrey as the Riddler.
Right, yeah.
Because
Riddle me this: would the film have been different? Probably not.
no,
No.
it would have probably been the exact same. Edward
And
Nygma.
then, Burton didn't like the story that was happening, and then he wanted to move on. And then once Burton moved on, Keaton moved on.
So then we got Schumacher.
Yeah.
And Val Kilmer.
Well, yeah.
I didn't mind Val Kilmer back then, honestly.
I mean, honestly, too, like Joel Schumacher at the time was actually like a respected director, like The Lost Boys.
He just went. We said how Gotham was its own character in '89, and it
He
had
recast
that
it.
gritty, dark noir feel.
Right.
And then Schumacher just made it
Well,
bright, colorful, over the top, neon lights.
I don't
It was just
put all of it on Schumacher. I put most of it on Warner Brothers because, like I said, with Returns, they had parents getting upset and about you know the Happy Meal bullshit and like it's not a kids movie and da da da. So they turned Batman Forever to market it more towards kids, which that was a money decision by Warner Brothers more than anything.
yeah.
And that was the beginning of the end for Warner Brothers getting in their way of. Then they're getting in their own way.
Right, yeah.
Good
That's
job,
where it
Warner Brothers.
starts.
Yeah, accurate.
We've uncovered the mystery.
Patient Zero.
Well, at least we found the fucking patient zero.
Right, yeah.
I mean, yeah, because you have Jim Carrey, who's the Riddler, who is very charismatic,
He was the best part of that film.
and he was very bright. And even as the Riddler, he was not really that dark. I mean, he was, but it wasn't like before. And even Two-Face, who we know Two-Face as being ruthless, seemed to be kind of a joking character in this movie.
Hate that.
Oh God.
I mean,
Yeah.
I love Tommy Lee, but like, not the drummer. Sorry, I guess I should finish.
His sex tape was awesome.
Tommy Lee Jones was a great.
Tommy Lee Jones' sex tape too.
too.
Ew.
God, just go with the joke.
It's from the
Play in the space. Play in the
It's him and
space.
Harrison Ford from The Fugitive.
I did not kill my wife. I don't care.
Actually, I love that line. Go on, sorry.
So, but yeah, you have this Two-Face who, they kind of tried to throw it back to the old, like, purple-sided face, cartoon, and it made him so silly. He really didn't seem to be scary at all. Or ruthless,
No,
or like anything Two-Face is.
For whatever reason, I feel like Tommy Lee Jones made the acting choice to try to out-top Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
And you can't do that, especially 1995 Jim Carrey.
Right.
With how over the top he was, the look, the acting, the worst thing that I could say about his performance and Val Kilmer's out of this entire series of films, theirs to me is the most forgettable.
I think the worst thing about Tommy Lee Jones's performance was Drew Barrymore.
Oh, yeah.
You
Sugar and
forgot.
Spice.
Yeah, Sugar
You
and
forgot.
No, I remember.
Oh.
He had two, Sugar and Spice.
Well, it was like Angel and Devil. I don't really know. Were they called
They
Sugar
were
and
called Sugar
Spice?
and Spice.
Oh, jeez.
I remember like he pimps Drew Barrymore off to Jim Carrey
Yeah.
at some point.
Yeah, Sugar and
But yeah,
Spice.
like what the fuck? Like what a random like cameo to see in that movie. I don't even remember who played the bad one.
Debbie
was-
Mazar.
Oh, neat. Is she important? No,
Not really.
Is she
No, not
important?
really.
Is she alive?
Okay.
Yeah, I don't.
She's
honestly,
alive.
I don't remember that part at all.
When Two-Face gets like
Like I said,
turned into a
forgettable.
goddamn henchman,
Yeah.
what's the point?
Right.
Like that you completely overshadowed. His entire role got diminished. It was a waste of Two-Face.
It was.
Yeah.
And I understand, like, you're trying to play up the genius of the Riddler, which is fine, but he's not going to make another villain his henchman. He's going to go off on his own and do his own thing. That's what he does.
Also-
like he's like a.
At no part
sort of-
in any
this
Batman
sort-
lore would I have bought that Two-Face would have been subservient to the Riddler.
No.
Yeah, never. And, even if they did work together, it would have been like, I'll do my plan, you do your plan, and
Right.
we'll see. I'll
what
flip a
happens.
coin later and see if I kill you.
Right.
But the worst thing I feel about it is like you got Jim Carrey playing like a really goofy version of the Riddler, but like the technology he's using, that like see into your mind TV thing, that's some Mad Hatter shit.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Schumacher like read a Mad Hatter Batman comic and then like, oh, this sounds good, but I got to use the Riddler. I'll just make the Riddler Mad Hatter. Like it didn't make any sense. And like one of the things I like about the Riddler is that he isn't one of these like ridiculous technology that doesn't really exist characters. He's like, I'm going to fuck with the Batman's head because I think I'm smarter than him and like make him run errands for me all over town until he fucking is so exhausted that I can maybe kill him.
Right.
Like that's what the Riddler does. He doesn't be like, oh, look inside Val Kilmer's head. No, who thinks about bats all day long?
I'd say
There were some weird choices with that movie. Like, one of my favorite ones, Chris O'Donnell finally becomes Robin, right?
yes.
Yeah.
Finally got a Robin, right? And like you're like, maybe this is like the height of Chris O'Donnell's career too. Like when you're like, okay, he may be tolerable,
Right.
And what was the first thing out of his fucking mouth in the suit? Holy metal rocks, Batman!
Holy rusted metal.
Holy rusted
This
metal.
metal. It's
He
rusted.
turns around, and he's like,
Holy.
"What are you talking about?" He's like, "The rocks. It's made of metal, and they're full of holes. It's rusted." He's like, "Oh," and then they like keep going. Like I was like, "What?"
I legitimately don't remember that.
Yeah, they
Oh,
were
it
climbing
happened, bro.
up,
Fuck.
yeah, they.
I mean, I know
Out of the
like the
Batboat.
scene, yeah.
The Batboat.
Yeah,
and the
He came out of the
jet
Batboat,
ski.
going up to Riddler's Riddler's Island with his big
He's like,
tower.
holy rusted metal. And he was like, what? Even as a child, I'm just like, boo! Boo this movie! Boo!
You pandering fuck, Schumacher! Boo!
Briefly, because this goes back to the our opening of our episode. Joel Schumacher directed the music video for "Kiss from a Rose."
Damn right he did. That is
course
the
he
best
did.
thing to come out of Batman Forever was Seal's "Kiss from a Rose." You're welcome, America.
Love that song.
Hateful Geeks single coming out. "Kiss from a Batman."
I no joke tried talking my ex-wife into making that our first dance at our wedding.
Did she agree?
I don't know.
No,
That's why she's your ex.
Nah. I'm not gonna lie, Tim, and don't take this the wrong way, but I would have left you, Tim. I'm just kidding, buddy. Oh, I'm sorry. Boo. No, you dodged a bullet, buddy. Because I would have danced with you to that song at our wedding.
yeah, hell yes.
Wait,
I'll let him lead.
Oh,
Damn right, you would let me. You act like you have a choice. shit. No, that let's be honest. Seal's Kiss from a Rose. I think we were arguing before we did our intro. It is the most iconic song from the Schumacher Burton Batman films.
Wrong.
As much as I love Prince, and if you've ever heard any of our episodes, I am the #1 Prince advocate in this group. I think the Seal's Kiss from a Rose is more iconic.
And I agree. I think Tim agrees. Andy doesn't. But it's not because I don't like Prince. I just don't think Prince's songs in those movies were nearly as iconic to Kiss from a Rose.
It's so fucking
I'll
beautiful,
look up
and
the
it's just
stats,
that
'cause
Seal's.
We want to put a poll up. I guarantee you that soundtrack has way more sales. Way like
Soundtrack doesn't
We're not
matter.
talking about sales. We're talking about the court of
we
public
said
opinion.
more iconic, and it is more iconic. It is more love than
And we're not talking about the soundtrack.
Then-
We're talking about the one song.
Kiss from a Douche.
See, you're trying to
Literally.
piggyback off the fucking off the Williams score of '89 Batman over Kiss from a Rose. That's
Williams?
cheating. You don't whatever.
Danny
Danny
Elfman.
Elfman. Sorry, Danny Elfman. Whatever.
Williams.
You know what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say, and you can't piggyback back off the fucking score music. Oh, we're talking about Kiss from a Rose as
Or the
the
Prince
song.
music.
Versus not all of the Prince music. There are multiple Prince songs in the '89 Batman film. You get one. You get to pick one Prince song. Go. What's your Prince song?
That's what
Is
I'm
it Party
saying.
Man
That was-
or is
that
it
was
fucking
my
Who Do You
entire
Trust?
Point is that he has multiple.
I-
like all of them are better.
I might put up.
No.
I don't know.
No.
I don't agree with you, but like, there's an overconfident part of me that's just like, I'm willing to put up all of Prince's songs in Batman versus Kiss from a Rose in the court of public
Kiss
opinion.
from a Rose. Tim, what was it? Kiss from a Rose was #1 male vocals for that year. It was the highest grossing single that year.
It won the Grammy for Best Male
Yeah,
Pop Performance,
Wham
Record of
probably
the.
had a #1 album.
record-
It doesn't make it good.
Hey, you say Wham is good.
Yeah, you better leave fucking
sorry.
Wham
Whoa,
alone too.
sorry.
You hating
Wake
son
me
of
up
a bitch.
before you go.
That's how they got the exclamation point.
Right.
Yo, Careless Whisper, you better shut your mouth.
Oh
Andy.
yeah.
You can't talk bad about Wham.
But I think. Never mind.
You picked the wrong
Andy is
thing.
No. So-
Andy is I hate to say this and I'm going to call you out. You are showing bias. You are
So-
showing unbridled bias. You want '89 Batman to be the best at everything. I'm sorry. Kiss from a Rose is more iconic.
It won for 1996 Grammy Awards. It won Record of the Year, Song of the Year, and Best Male Pop Vocal Performance.
Not a single track in the '89 Batman film can claim those 3 titles for that year. Not one of them. Not a single. And I love Prince, Andy. I own fucking Graffiti Bridge on Blu-ray and DVD. I love Prince, but you cannot make this claim in his favor. I'm
Well,
sorry.
We'll leave it to public opinion.
The only thing that it comes close to the Batman album was that it was #1 on the Billboard album chart for 6 weeks. That's all I got.
Good job.
Well,
6 weeks. You
like I
did it.
said, we'll put it up to a vote. We'll see what people agree with or not agree with, and we'll go from there.
I will put up all 5 of these songs. Bat Dance, Party
How
Man,
long was it up there?
6 weeks.
The album, this is the '89 one,
Ugh,
was
it's
#1
not the whole
on
album.
the Billboard album charts for 6 consecutive.
That's what
That's
he was just
literally
talking
what
about.
I just said.
That's what he
No,
was
I thought you were talking about the.
No, he was
No.
talking. He went,
That's why I was asking.
Oh
you the
no.
Kiss from
That
a
was
Rose
no,
one.
that was the '89 soundtrack.
It has sold over 11 million copies worldwide.
Oh my
And
God,
it's fucking
Andy.
Prince.
Prince has probably sold more records than Seal, but that's only because he's made a shit ton more music than Seal, and also it's Prince. But this song, like
Bat Dance,
"Kiss from a Rose,"
Party
dude, I know people who remember the fucking song more than they remember the movie. So hate all you
I
want,
remember
but you're wrong.
Seal too, but
Okay.
that song is
Well, you know
way
what?
more iconic for this series. It is.
It's not personal, Andy. You didn't
I'm
write
not
the
taking
fucking
it personal.
soundtrack
I'm
for
just
fucking
telling you.
and
'89
the only reason I
Batman.
like those songs from the original Batman is because of like Jack Nicholson's character, like Nicholson. Sorry, I did it again.
For
His character doing what he was doing in the movie. That's the only reason I remember those songs. Like not even like for it being a Prince song.
okay.
oh, poor Andy, so dejected.
I'm not dejected
It's all
and
right.
wrong. I mean, it's not my fault that you guys are wrong. I mean,
Oh, that's adorable. All right. Yes. When we're done, yes, there will be a poll and we will see. But I hate to
and
break
have
it
all
to you.
the
You're going to
4
lose
people
this
vote
one.
on it. We're not
But
allowed
you
to
have to
vote.
choose a Prince song, Andy. You can't just be like the soundtrack of '89 Batman. You have to pick a Prince song. That is
It
your
is
claim.
not my fault that he had multiple songs where Seal was only a scrub enough to get one.
Oh Jesus.
He only needed one. He only needed
And he had
one.
to unbutton his shirt and try his best.
Goddamn
to be a
right he
Prince.
did. How else is he gonna land Heidi Klum?
He did land Heidi Klum. I mean
You done fucked up now, Andy. Oh my God. All right. Well, we've talked about this, the god awful Batman Forever. Let's get to the best part of Schumacher Niptown. Batman and Robin, the fourth and final installment that literally murdered comic book movies for like a fucking decade. George Clooney and the return of Chris O'Donnell with the introduction of Alicia Silverstone, fresh out of Clueless. And there were nips on her batsuit too.
Creepy.
Very.
This is one of two movies that my dad took me to that when we were walking out, I apologize for.
You were right to do so.
Right.
Everybody.
It was this movie and the Matthew Broderick Godzilla.
I was gonna say nothing says scrawny scientist trying to save Nora like Arnold Schwarzenegger. What the
Schwarzenegger.
So, have you guys ever watched Fringe?
Yes.
How you can
Once or
how
twice.
they go into like alternate realities at the press of a button, essentially. There is an alternate reality that I want to go to because if Arnold Schwarzenegger turned down Mr. Freeze, his next selection was Hulk Hogan. I want to go to that reality
Oh my God.
so bad.
Wait, Hulk Hogan as
Everybody freeze, brother.
No, everybody freeze. Everyone chill out.
Also,
That was the window of your discontent.
Patrick Stewart was in the running as Mr. Freeze.
I would have bought that.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
See that.
Like, I'm laughing.
That would've been
because
amazing.
I'm just like, God, he dodged a bullet.
But he would have been better
mean-
than what that atrocity of Mr.
Oh, for
Freeze
sure.
was.
He could have made the movie better somehow. I mean, I love Arnold. Don't get me wrong, but this was like a bad decision.
yeah.
And let's talk. I mean, as much as you can rip on Arnold for this, and you can rip on Arnold, we can make a whole show about ripping on Arnold for this bad decision. Uma Thurman fucked up too,
Yeah.
big time.
Every time
Like,
I picture her as Poison Ivy, the only thing I see are those god awful eyebrows that they put on her.
I just always
Ugh.
remember the wax lips.
No, it's immune to her charms.
Yeah.
Let's not forget the fucking her sidekick Bane.
Yes. The worst Bane ever.
Look, Bane-
Even Tom Hardy's Bane was better.
Bane is one of my least favorite Batman villains, even with the whole Nightfall storyline. Okay, cool. But every
Nightfall's
single
amazing.
film that Bane has been in, all two of them, why is he always the pawn of a woman?
This is true.
Oh God,
This is
he's
true.
not wrong.
He is.
Which is stupid because that's not how he is in the
No,
comics. He's the fucking.
not at
He's a
all.
genius. He literally empties all of Arkham and Blackgate prison to for 3 weeks. The Batman is just constantly putting people back in jail till he's exhausted, and then Bane reveals that he's known his identity the whole time, is in the Batcave waiting for him, and then breaks the bat. And it was all his plan. Nobody else put him up to it. It was Bane.
Plus,
Matalo, Bane, Bane.
plus there's Luchador Bane.
There is Lucha, and it was
was
Luchador Bane.
Luchador
Yeah.
Bane.
Bane. Yeah, and
The guy,
so
who, the
in
guy.
this, he's almost a mindless brute that
He is. He literally
Yeah.
says nothing.
that Poison Ivy just uses.
He grunts.
Yeah.
And then we get Tom Hardy's Bane, and I was like, all right, I'm buying this version. Oh wait, he's just Talia's little
Henchman.
henchman.
I wondered what would break first. Your spirit or your body.
Or your feelings.
He looked cool, and I will give them that. Bane looked cool in Batman and Robin.
He looked like a comic book Bane.
Yeah, I mean,
They got Venom right.
Yeah.
They did
yeah,
get that right.
yeah.
Well, they don't ever
I
talk
don't mean
about
I don't for our listeners. I don't mean like symbiote venom. I mean like the steroid
his
poison
juice.
that Bane uses to buff up and break people.
His
Yeah.
steroid.
It's called Venom.
Liquid
Like they give
steroids.
him like his venom and he can like turn it up and
Yeah.
like literally, yeah,
Make
they got that part right.
Make his veins all green and nasty
Yeah.
looking.
They pull the plug on him and he shrivels up.
Yeah.
And it's excellent. That is probably how the taking away his mind ruined it.
Right.
That's like
Yeah.
not so that. But then if they hadn't, you got a movie stuff with Mr. Freeze, Poison Ivy, and like Smart Bane. That's like 2 minutes. That's too much going on. How's Batman supposed to really stop that? Oh, because he's got his bat card. If anyone forgot that, when he whips out his credit
Damn it.
card,
the bat card.
Charge
when they're bidding on who gets to bang Poison Ivy,
Is this
charging on my bat card.
is this also
Remember that, Tim?
Too.
is this also the one with the line "Chicks dig the car"?
Yes.
They do. It
God
is.
damn
It is
it.
chicks dig the car.
Don't give him James Bond one-liners.
That was Robin who said that.
Is this-
he
was
was
it?
jealous.
Is that
Yeah,
the
Robin
reveal
says it's the
that
car.
glows
Chicks
blue
did the
too?
car.
Yeah. It has like the blue front and like
With
the
the spinning
Yeah.
whatever
in
the fuck.
front,
Yeah.
and it's really electric blue with all the neon lights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
it has like the
I
ice.
mean, the one with the Tesla cannon
I
in the center.
love
it.
Yeah, that.
I love this movie for how just absurd it is.
Doesn't it like pop out ice skates at one point?
Yeah, both. No, their suits do.
The suits do.
Yeah, by the clap of their heels, like they're fucking Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz.
I mean, you see like serious differences between like the auteurness of Burton and Schumacher. Burton's Batman films are like a Cure concert, and then Schumacher's Batman films are like a fucking rave where everyone just can't decide what like happy hardcore
Right.
shit they want to listen to
And then
this
it turned
week.
into like a Spice Girls concert, and I was just like, Jesus Christ.
What's Mr. Freeze's grand design? He's literally going to freeze all of Gotham.
Yeah.
He's going to turn into an icy wonderland. Why? Because who the fuck cares?
Right.
Why not?
And like diamonds power his machines.
Did he have a motive?
diamonds?
What?
Did he have a motive? As
Yeah,
to
he was
why
upset
Yeah.
about his wife.
Yeah, his motive is
Yeah,
sure.
like
Why
he
not?
was-
No, that's his
It
real
really-
motive.
He wanted diamonds to make Gotham a frozen hellhole so that he could take his wife out of her canister
Okay, I
can
couldn't even
thing.
remember if Nora was right. I'm
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
being
Nora was
serious.
there in her
I
tank.
can't even
Like,
remember the
I mean,
last time I saw
it's
Batman.
it's
and Robin.
literally like 40 seconds.
We
where
might have
like
to get trash and
they-
watch this.
I think
number
that's a
one,
good
yes.
idea. Next time in town. But no, wasn't Nora actually played by his Schwarzenegger's actual wife?
No, I don't think so.
Maria
I thought it
Schreiber or
was, but
whatever?
I might be wrong
gonna-
I
on
don't
this
think
one.
we're together
have-
anymore.
I
Did he
have-
cheat on her with the maid?
Yeah.
Yeah, and had a
That was-
and had a kid with
You leave the
maid.
governor alone.
Yeah, like I mean, Nora's only it's like a 40-second scene where like he's
Oh God. While Tim's looking that up, take 2 of these and call me in the morning.
yeah.
Because Alfred got sick with the same thing that Nora has, and George Clooney's like, I need to save my butler.
McGregor syndrome is what they call it.
Yeah, that.
No, it is not. It is not his wife. It is some Swedish name. Vendela Kursbom Thumlison.
That's why I thought it was his wife,
Sure.
because I couldn't pronounce her last name.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure.
It doesn't matter what your name
But
is.
she's like, well,
What's the where's he the Rock all of a sudden?
what?
What?
What rabbit hole did we just get down?
No.
I don't know, but Batman and Robin was a fucking abomination of a film. There was nothing redeemable about it. The plot was terrible. The casting choices were worse. It looked so bad. Like, I don't know how you could get worse than Batman Forever, but it just looked worse too. There was nothing good about this. But Andy, as we've discussed, this is a perfect correlation to the Superman films before it, because there were 4 Superman films and then there were 4 Batman
And they
films,
both
and the
just followed that same.
exact same
Shit,
pattern. The
going
first 2
downhill.
Superman films are fucking awesome. Superman and Superman 2 are amazeballs. And then you got Superman 3 with Richard Pryor, Jim Carrey.
And
You got a
and
comedian as
tried
your
to
primary
force
villain.
yourself to like it. You're like, okay.
And then you got Superman 4 where you bring back Lex Luthor and you're supposed to care, but you kind of don't still. And you got his kid played by Ducky. And then you got Nuclear Man, a
What's
mindless,
John Cryer's kid in that?
Yeah, dude.
Because he is now Lex Luthor in the CW's.
John
Supergirl.
Cryer is one of his henchmen in the movie, isn't he?
John Cryer is his fucking is like his nephew. It's his nephew.
Yeah.
It's a blood relative. Is my
Yeah,
point
right.
in the fucking 4th Superman film.
And now
And
he's
then you got
playing
like the
Luthor.
mindless Nuclear Man, which is Bane. Like somehow they took Batman and made the same exact mistakes they did with the Superman franchise.
Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers, motherfuckers.
Bong bong bong.
Drop this fucking bat mic, which I'm sure he's got. He's got a bat
He's
mic.
got a bat mic.
Everything. He's got shark. He's got Batman shark repellent. He's got a bat
Oh
mic.
God. Shark repellent.
It happened.
I know.
It is a thing.
This was a franchise that like shaped and also ruined a lot of childhoods simultaneously.
I mean, it ruined comic franchise movies for what? When did
X-Men
X-Men?
2000.
X-Men
2000.
kind of brought it back, yeah.
Yeah, and then they kind of
Spider-Man.
ruined it themselves.
I mean, X-Men kind of brought it back, but then like Spider-Man kind of
Spider-Man
kicked the
is
door
what-
down.
Oh, we can make money off.
Yeah.
This.
Yeah, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2 for that matter. We're like, we're back, motherfuckers, and we're gonna do it right.
Right.
Look, it's Marvel.
look, it's Marvel. Well, not really.
It was Marvel.
Yeah.
It just wasn't. It was Sony Marvel.
Right.
Right.
and then Marvel
Marvel was like,
was like, oh, really?
Iron Man.
Hey guys, know we got these fucking things called the Avengers we've been sitting on for 50 years? Oh shit, we got the Avengers.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys remember that Fantastic Four movie we made? Somebody gets slapped. Shut up. We don't talk about that.
That didn't happen.
Remember, because they tried to do that. They even tried to bring back Fantastic Four, and then you got Rise of the Silver Surfer.
Punisher and the
Dude, I like the Dolph Lundgren Punisher film.
Captain America with the motorcycle helmet.
You shut your mouth. I actually like the original one where the Red Skull is awesome in that movie. But those are like campy, like 70s, 80s films.
Yeah,
Those are.
You guys do your drunk, scary movie night.
Yeah.
Next time Phil's in town, we're going to do drunk, bad superheroes.
Yes.
I'm fine with that.
God, yes.
I'm fine with
God.
that.
Can we?
As long as we can find
Spawn.
like a somewhat filming of the Nick Cage Superman movie.
Let's watch Spawn.
Spawn.
I love Spawns.
Yeah, it's tough.
We can find the made for TV David Hasselhoff Nick Fury movie.
Yeah.
I have seen it, and it's actually really shitty.
Oh God, all the old crappy stuff.
Poor Batman.
Yeah.
I was happy that we could all agree on like a franchise to sort of dissect and just bend over a table for a night, but I kind of sad that it had to be Batman.
Well, I mean, we're all spoiled now. You know, we get all these, we've gotten a lot of great comic book movies for the past, I don't know, 14, 15 years. I mean, when Iron Man 1 was what? 2000,
10 years ago.
10 years.
2008.
Yeah, 10 years ago. Yeah, I mean, like, even before that, we had the Spider-Man. We had Raimi Spider-Man.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that was 2002. Yeah.
Hey, we don't talk about the third one, but we had two really good Spider-Man movies.
You didn't like Sandman
And now I'm
and Shitty Green Goblin on a flying snowboard? You didn't like that?
I didn't like the
James
random
Franco.
musical
bummer.
in it either.
Like, here's Venom,
Only-
and now he's not really Venom, and now we're just going to kill him. Venom.
Venom, ruin Venom. Anyway.
He's like, I got to go, or Red's going to kick my ass.
So thanks for this was Hateful Geeks trying to do our franchise fuckery. I don't know why we haven't really settled on a title yet, but
Fuckery.
we're gonna be dissecting nostalgic film franchises pretty regular. So please tune in the future for those. But I do believe it's time for that Hateful Grateful, gentlemen.
Hateful Grateful.
Hateful Grateful.
Hateful Grateful. Hateful Grateful.
Hateful Grateful. We still don't have a new theme song. Hateful
Still
Grateful.
gonna keep on going with
Fucking
So
this.
listeners
just
are
so
slacking.
just so you know, we do have friends of ours that actually were like, "Yeah, it's kind of catchy anyway. We don't care that you don't have a song." And I was like, "All right."
All right. Fuck it.
Sons of bitches, fine. But then, until we hear some actual complaints, we're sticking with it. So Hateful Grateful's here to stay. And this magical week, yours truly, Phil, will be doing Hateful Grateful. And I would just like to first off say that I was fully prepared this week.
Ah.
I don't actually have to look up my Hateful Grateful. I did it right off the bat. And so I'm going to come right out of the ball. Right
Right on the
Right out of the
balls.
balls. I mean, I guess I
You
guess
technically did.
I was gonna say I guess we all do.
Technically, I got a doo-doo in my butt. The butt is a nut. This week, my first thing I wanted to bring up for Hateful Grateful, Lucasfilm has announced, Lucasfilm is officially part of this, announces a new animated Star Wars series called Galaxy of Adventure. And there's a trailer out, and it's going to be a YouTube channel. It's a YouTube channel only. You don't have to have a television channel. You don't have to have Hulu or Netflix. If you got an internet, and if you got an internet and a computer, and you can go to the YouTubes, you can watch Galaxy of Adventure. It's going to be on a Star Wars channel. It's Galaxy Adventure. It's going to be Star Wars. Throw it in the fucking search bar. Are you a child? You want me to
YouTube
hold your
Red?
hand? Give you the full link? What?
Is it YouTube Red or the free YouTube?
No, it's just YouTube. It's
right.
going to be like little mini vignettes of animated shorts of Star Wars, and the animation looks pretty excellent for that. Like I don't know how to explain it to you, Andy, but I suggest that any of our listeners or you guys to go check it out. But I mean, what do you think? I mean, it's going to be old. Like from like scenes of the movie. So like imagine like the fight with the Bantha animated.
Yeah.
Or Vader versus Luke in Bespin animated.
And I heard about this, and it's actually going to use the original sound effects from like the movie. So you're gonna have like this animated short, but it's gonna be like the original like sound. So you're still gonna have that high quality sound, but it's gonna be animated version.
I'm alright with it.
So
Sorry.
Lucasfilm's vice president, James Woe, if I'm pronouncing that, Woe, he was quoted saying, with Galaxy Adventures, we wanted to craft something that allowed parents to help their kids take their first step into a much larger world, whether they were ready to show their kids the films or wanted to find new ways to explore the content. So this is like Lucasfilm's attempt to like animate some of the most iconic memories of Star Wars on YouTube for parents to be like, ease their kids. Like, I'm going to convert you into a Star Wars geek. This is how I'm going to do it. I think it's great. Indoctrination of children in Star Wars at the youngest possible age is brilliant. Yeah. I am grateful. I'm just going to throw that out there. Where would you guys stand with this announcement? Are you excited for some old stuff getting reanimated for free on the internets?
Yeah, I'm fine with it. Yeah. Especially if it's going to get younger people into it.
It's great.
All right, Tony the Tiger.
Thanks, Tony the Tiger.
I'm always grateful for more Star Wars. I might be hateful after I see it, but as of right now, I am grateful.
The animation looks kind of like you could take it or leave it. I mean, it really depends on your personal taste, but from what I've seen from the trailer, there's some cool shit in there. It might end up being pretty awesome. But it's a little like, do you remember the Genndy Tartakovsky Clone Wars series from Cartoon Network? It's got a strong vibe of that to me, but with a little but crisper. If that makes any sense. It's a little bit more
computer
detailed and cleaner than Gendy's was. But I mean, it might be good. It might not. It could suck balls. It could be a complete waste of time. Who knows? We'll see. So, yeah, I got Andy's obviously always grateful for the wars. Tim, you said you were grateful.
Yeah.
Sweeney, what'd you say?
I was Tony the Tiger.
Oh, you're there. Great. Yeah, you're very, very grateful. All right, cool. I'm glad to hear that. The next one, this is kind of a twofer.
Okay.
We've already discussed this, but Netflix is, on one hand, they're bringing Neon Genesis Evangelion, the anime, to Netflix. That's old. That's nothing new. It's like, oh, if you're a big nerd and you want to watch that and trip balls, feel free, go watch that show. But more importantly, Netflix is developing a live-action Cowboy Bebop series.
Yes.
And my anime-ophiles. Andy, I know everything I said made no sense to you. That's okay.
Yes, I heard about that, the Cowboy Bebop, and I'm actually really excited to see it in live action and see how they do it. Yeah, I'm grateful for that.
I haven't seen any Cowboy Bebop. That is going to change soon because a complete series has been recently purchased by a friend of mine, and she's making me watch it. So I'm kind of on the thing of like, well, if Cowboy Bebop fans are happy, then sure. Like
they might not be though, Tim. That's the thing about this. So for any of our listeners and for Andy's and Tim's, Cowboy Bebop is about a guy named Spike Spiegel, and he's sort of like a intergalactic bounty hunter. Think Han Solo, but with like wearing a suit and tie as opposed to like a vest and a white long sleeve turtleneck and chain. His name's Spike Spiegel. He's got a spaceship called the Bebop. He's got his friend Jet, who's like a he's got like a metal arm. He's like his Chewbacca but human. And he's got a really hot chick named not Jill Valentine. Yeah, but he's got the dog and the kid and all that stuff. But basically, it's the adventures and you learn about Spike's history being in like the intergalactic triad and how he's going around basically doing all these like bounty hunting. We call them space cowboys, is what they're called. The people like basically take bounties to capture people that are out there doing naughty shit. And Spike's like the best. But it all goes into his history, and it's one of the most beloved animes in history. It was on Cartoon Network for God knows how long. Hell, it might still be. It was on Adult Swim. If you haven't seen Cowboy Bebop, even if you aren't an anime fan, anyone who's listening to our anime episodes, it's not a 5. This is a 0. It is an easily accessible anime for anybody. Not a 5.
It is something that I do plan on watching, and I'll probably watch it before the live action one comes out. So come back to me in a few months.
See, when they did Death Note, when the Netflix did the live action Death Note movie, a lot of people were really pissed off about that. Yeah. And I can see why, because it doesn't follow the fucking story at all. No. But it had some really cool shit about it. I enjoyed parts of the Death Note movie for what it was, knowing that it wasn't going to be a perfect adaptation. However, if you fuck up Bebop, you're gonna get fucked up, Netflix. Like you're not gonna lose a lot of fucking people that are loyal to that series. There are people that hold their loyalty to Cowboy Bebop before Netflix. That's why I'm the anime fans, at least. This could go wrong.
Yeah, and I'm assuming that Netflix understands that, and they'll probably try to stick to what it was.
I'm just curious who they're going to get to play Spike.
Right. But then I don't think they've announced any casting options yet.
No. From what
No,
I saw.
not that I've heard either.
It looked like the announcement was more just like, hey, this is a thing that's
Right.
coming.
Hey, we're doing this.
Right.
Goddamn internet. All right, and my last and final Hateful Grateful for the week is Sylvester Stallone has officially announced that Creed 2 is going to be the last time he ever plays Rocky Balboa ever.
Thank God.
Really?
The character's done.
Hateful.
I mean, I haven't seen Creed 2 yet, but I liked his role in the first Creed. He just turns into the trainer,
Right.
and the mentor to Apollo Creed Jr., whatever
And that's
his kid's name is. I
And
can't
that's
remember.
not my Rocky. I want the Rocky to still be there.
I like that it's grizzled early 70s Sylvester Stallone that's doing that. Like,
God, now you sound like the old man. Nah, give me back my
Like,
Rocky.
my Rocky.
in the,
He's too
yeah,
old.
like
I
in
can't get a
the
younger
role
Rocky.
that he's in, sure. Again,
Oh, man,
I
like, I'm down
haven't
with-
seen Creed 2 yet, so
Creed 1 was amazing.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
also have
I
not
enjoyed
seen Creed 2
1
yet.
because of Michael B. Jordan,
yeah, I did too. But I
not because of
thought Stallone was pretty good in it.
Rocky.
I think it wasn't. He was up for an Academy Award for it.
Doesn't mean I feel the same way.
Agree to disagree. You bastard.
You bastard.
Well, honestly, maybe if Creed 2 is everything that they're saying it is currently, which is getting pretty goddamn good reviews right now, and it's making a lot of money too, this could be a good thing. Go out on a high note. You're done.
I was just disagreeing with Sweeney about Balboa being in the Creed movies. Like, if he wants to hang it up and not be Rocky anymore, I get it. Stallone's got to be pushing 75, right?
He's old.
Well, think of it this way. In the original Rocky films, in Rocky 3, that's when Mick dies. The one with Mr. T?
Sure, yeah.
Because Mr. T scares Mick into having a heart attack. I pity the fool. Boogie, boogie, boogie. That's how Mick died. I remember that movie. So you do a third Creed film, and you kill Rocky of a heart attack. It mirrors. It's full circle.
Yeah, I get that, but they
It'll be
already
an off-screen
kind of
death.
did that in the first Creed, though. They kind of already had that scare in the first Creed.
Kind of, but he lived. And wasn't it like the last Rocky? It was Rocky Balboa when he was like when we find out that Adrian's dead.
Yeah,
And his son was Milo Ventimiglia from This Is Us. I'm grateful for the Rockies that we have received and the Creeds that we have received. If Sylvester Stallone thinks it's time to call it quits, then I'm supportive of him and his decisions. I still think he's got more movies in him, but if he's done, he's done.
He's got enough in him to do another fucking Rambo movie.
Yeah.
That's going to be hilarious.
But it's
I'll
like-
get to my gun
Or it's
eventually.
like fucking
you kids.
Cowboy Rambo or some
It
shit.
is. It literally is Western Rambo.
How is he going to fight the Viet Cong in fucking the West? That doesn't make any sense.
It's called
He's
Last Blood.
hallucinating and having flashbacks.
I knew
He's
it.
actually just killing innocent people.
It's
Rambo just took a bunch of peyote in the fucking desert outside of Nevada, and he ends up shooting up a
this
casino.
movie is straight up called Last Blood. I quit.
Oh God, I can't deal with this anymore. Like, we don't need we don't need another movie glorifying like. This was I like the first Rambo movie because he comes back to America and it's like him being chased by Brian Dennehy in the woods.
Yeah.
But then it's like the rest of the Rambo movies become like this one-man American army like commercial for like the military. Like, you too can fight the Viet Cong by yourself. You too can fight terrorists in Afghanistan by yourself. Are you that much of a badass? Like, no, nobody is that much of a badass. If we had one Rambo, we wouldn't be like in this perpetual state of warfare. So stop glorifying it.
But they
Stop
drew
glorifying
First
it.
Blood.
Rambo.
Oh, boo, boo, boo! This man. Sorry.
I
I'm
go
in
for
That's
the
all I
boat
got for Hateful
of
Grateful.
Anything Sylvester Stallone, I could actually take it or leave it. Like, if there was nothing, no skin off my back.
Really, you're not a Stallone fan at all.
The last Rocky movie I saw was Rocky 4. I never saw Rocky Balboa. I've never seen Creed. I've never seen Creed 2. It's just
I'm sorry. You're missing the excellence that is Rocky 5, motherfucker.
but I just
Cliffhanger?
don't care.
I was gonna say cliffhanger.
Nope.
Judge Dredd, the first one.
Nope.
With
No.
Demolition Man.
wow,
Yeah,
Demolition
Man.
Now all restaurants are Taco Bell.
How did I forget about Demolition Man?
Phoenix.
Yeah.
Phoenix. Simon Says Die. Andy, I'm like I don't know. I don't know if I want to date you anymore. I'm kind of mad
man.
now. I'm kind of pissed at you.
I mean, like Tango and Cash.
dude, that's a great fucking movie.
Stop or my mom will shoot.
That's not quite a good movie.
No, it's just. Yeah.
What about the 3 seconds he was in Guardians Volume 2? That was great, wasn't it? Fucking
Was it?
bastard.
Was
You hate, I know that we're called the Hateful Geeks, but you're extra hateful tonight.
Also, wait a minute, because I forgot about this movie. Over the Top.
Oh God,
The
that's a
arm
great
wrestling?
fucking
Yes!
movie. Yeah, the arm
Yes,
wrestling
the arm
movie.
wrestling.
That's all I know about it.
Meet me halfway.
the high bro
Across the
like high
sky.
five thing?
Oh no.
Oh my God.
You guys ever seen it? Okay, guys, this is totally off topic completely, but I have to bring it up. You ever seen the Hugh Jackman film Real Steel?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
The
basically
live
over the
action
top, but with
Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
Yeah.
yeah, but it's basically the story of Over the Top, but with robots.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it is.
Instead of arm wrestling,
It is.
it's over the top. That's the
It
whole plot
is.
of the film, and that's why I love it, because I love that father son trucking around the country. We too could be blue collar douchebags together.
I mean, we wouldn't have had any Rocky without Stallone.
It's so true, man. Like the first two Rockies are more of like a character instead of just all about boxing.
Right,
the rest of them
yeah.
just become all about boxing.
If we woke up tomorrow and some weird alternate universe thing happened and there was no Stallone at all, I would not lose a wink of sleep.
Do you know that like the Rocky movies are like their soundtrack alone is solely responsible for people being in better shape? It's the eye of the tiger, it's the thrill of the fight. Like without that song, like nobody would be out there running or hitting punching bags.
Running upstairs.
No one would know what the Eye of the Tiger is.
Yeah, like it's the thrill of the fight. All right, fuck this. We have to like take Andy out back and beat the shit out of him. So thank you again for tuning in for the Hateful Geeks. I'm one of your many hosts, Phil.
This is Sweeney.
Fuck Stallone. I'm Andy.
Andy's dead.
I'm Tim, and I love Sylvester Stallone. Please follow
All
us
right.
everywhere.
If you guys don't hear from Andy again, it's because he quit, and it's not because he's dead. Andrew, shut up, Andy. Wow, that was the worst
Man.
Stallone impression I've ever heard. Why do you sound like you're gargling like a barrel of
Why do you sound like Jabba the Hutt?
Pooba Chola Misuki
So
Pookie?
that's who did the voice of Jabba.
Wow, motherfucker. And scene.
Oh, that was wonderful.
Bravo!
I loved that.
Oh, it was great.
Well, it was pretty good.
Well, it wasn't bad.
Well, there were parts of it that weren't very good, though.
It could have been a lot better.
I didn't really like it.
It was pretty terrible.
It was bad.
It was awful.
It was terrible.
Get him away!
Hey, boo!
Boo!